Hi everyone, and welcome to our final video for the Lent series, A Musical Journey Through Lent. Today we will be talking about Were You There? Were You There is an African-American spiritual. It's one of the most popular African-American spirituals in denominational churches today. I know that we personally sing it often during Holy Week, a lot of times on Good Friday. And as with most spirituals, the exact origins are difficult to trace since it was a song born from the communal slave experience. So we don't know the exact writer, but we do know that it originated amongst slaves. The lyrics are as follows. The first printed version of Were You There was found in William E. Barton's Old Plantation Hymns, which was published in 1899. The first four verses were the original published verses, and then verse 5 was added later. In 1940, it was included in the Episcopal Church hymnal, making it the first spiritual to be included in any major American hymnal. Were You There? And other spirituals like it represented more than just biblical context. And I think that this is very important when we learn about any kind of African-American spiritual, to think about this. Lyrics were often metaphors to slavery and oppression. For example, in verse 2 of Were You There? The cross is described as a tree. It is thought by some, and by myself included, that the word tree was used as a reference to lynchings. This no doubt gave special significance to African Americans who witnessed lynchings, further strengthening the metaphor between Jesus' suffering and the suffering of slaves. Later, some hymn books would change the word tree to cross. However, I personally think that it's important to stay to the original meaning of the song, and so I'm happy that the hymnal that we sing from, the Evangelical Lutheran Worship hymnal, I'm happy that we keep it to tree, because I think it's important for us to remember what this song really meant to the people who wrote it. We cannot discredit the suffering that led to the hymn we love so much today. In his book, The Cross and the Lynching Tree, James Cone says, "In the mystery of God's revelation, Black Christians believed that just knowing that Jesus went through an experience of suffering in a manner similar to theirs gave them faith that God was with them, even in suffering on lynching trees, just as God was present with Jesus in suffering on the cross." In my opinion, understanding the history and emotional context of the song brings deeper meaning to the lyrics and gives us a different perspective on how we think about the lyrics. As with other songs of such distinction, Were You There? Expanded outside the Christian church. For example, Gandhi was a fan of the song, or as it was reported. He said, "I feel that this song gets to the root of the experience of the entire human race under the spread of the healing wings of suffering." Were You There is a song that reminds us of the responsibility we must take for our own sins, as well as the responsibility we have to ease the suffering of others. Of course, it's important to remember the suffering Jesus endured for humankind, but let us also remember and acknowledge the suffering of the oppressed who wrote this song in the first place. So when we sing this song during Good Friday, I think it's important to think about not just what it means in terms of Jesus' suffering, but also where the song originated and the deeper meaning that's behind the lyrics for the people who actually wrote this song. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified tremble, tremble. Were you there when the sun refused to shine? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble.